Hey guys, Smackdown. I think it's on TV tonight, but it was on YouTube this afternoon, so I was fortunate enough to catch it a little earlier. So, gonna do a review here. We got a video package just showing the two big storylines on Smackdown right now. The thing happening between Kane and Edge, and the storyline right now between Alberto Del Rio and Rey Mysterio. And we're also told that our main event's going to be Kane and Del Rio against Mysterio and Edge. Those, being the two big storylines right now from SmackDown. And of course, I think those are the two SmackDown matches so far booked for the pay-per-view TLC December 19th. It'll be Alberto Del Rio against Rey Mysterio in a chair match, and of course it will be Edge versus Kane in a TLC match for the World Heavyweight title. So those two big feuds right now coming together for a tag team main event. Our first match would be Caval versus Jack Swagger. Love seeing Caval. I don't think he gets enough. I don't think he's getting enough of a push or enough TV time, and there should be more going into Caval than there is like these guys like Alex Riley, who didn't even win NXT Season 2. That's why I think NXT is so kind of in a way a waste of time, because despite who you vote for, or who you want to win, or who actually does win, they're going to push who they want to push, and guys like Alex Riley, who didn't even win. Of course, Michael McGillicuddy and Husky Harris. Michael McGillicuddy, the son of Kurt Hennig, also known as Mr. Perfect, and Husky Harris, the son of Mike Rotunda, also known as IRS. Those are probably the reasons why they are getting the push they are in Nexus, because of their bloodline. Anyways, Caval and Jack Swagger, they had a great match. Swagger would have Caval up like in an electric chair kind of position, and Caval would be like punching Swagger's head, and Swagger would throw him off, and Caval would land on his leg and would be holding it, like he hurt it. And the whole match he'd be selling it, holding his leg, and his whole offense, the whole match was a lot of kicks in that. And after every kick, he'd go with a hole in the leg, that it was killing him to just do anything, And of course, Swagger would eventually win with the ankle lock. And I usually have some notes, but I don't have them. I actually did this video, but it didn't turn out. I'm just trying to go off what's important. Santino and Kozlov are showing backstage with Teddy Long, and Santino starts singing "We Are the Champions," and Kozlov is waving a lighter back and forth, and I thought that was funny. They gotta keep the comical aspect with Santino. Keep Santino the comedy, then keep Kozlov sort of like the monster, but who sometimes his comedy is kind of like the subtle kind, where Santino is delivering the punchlines, and then Kozlov will do that subtle little thing like wave a lighter, and it's just like, what the heck? So, and the big part I think with them is they got to give them legitimate tag team opponents. They ended up facing, it was Santino versus Kozlov against Chavo and a partner of his choice, and he chose Drew McIntyre. And it was a good tag team match, but I was kind of disappointed in a way, because Drew McIntyre was teaming with Cody Rhodes, and I thought they had a good team going. I mean, they were champs once, and they weren't just a Mark Henry Yoshitatsu tag team. They seemed to actually fit well together. Maybe they thought Chavo works better with Drew McIntyre, but obviously it doesn't seem like they're going to keep that together, because the finish of the match, Santino would hit the Cobra on. He had hit the Cobra on. I just like doing the Cobra. I don't have SmackDown versus Raw 2011 yet, but I guarantee you when I get it, I'm gonna be Santino a lot just so I can do the Cobra, and I'm just gonna be like, yeah. But anyways, Santino would hit the Cobra on Chavo Guerrero, get the 1-2-3. Santino and Kozlov would pick up the win. Drew would be with Chavo, like, man, geez, we'll get it next time. But then Chavo would end up getting laid out in the middle of the ring by Drew McIntyre. So that kind of throws out my whole idea of maybe keeping Chavo and Drew together as a team, because if they were going to stick together, obviously he wouldn't have done that. Anyways, one thing I skipped that is so completely stupid. The Eagle, the former mascot of Jack Swagger, took on Hornswoggle in a stupid match. I laughed. It was funny. It was hilarious because it was so stupid. But at the end of the day, it could have been used to have a match with some younger talent and get them on TV, or build a storyline or something. It was a waste of time. Then we had a Master Lock challenge. Cody Rhodes would come down for the Master Lock challenge. He would do all this stuff to delay it. He would clean off the chair, file his nails. Chris Masters would tell him to get into the chair for the Master Lock challenge. He wouldn't. Masters would slap him. He would go crazy, go nuts, and then Masters would grab Cody Rhodes' nose, and he would go nuts and kick the chair and kick the ropes and drop to the mat and start going nuts on the ropes like Ultimate Warrior, saying he's not going to do this challenge. He'd ask for his ring jacket, go onto the apron. Chris Masters would lock in the Master Lock, pull him over the top rope, continue to have it locked in, and Cody Rhodes would be out and lose the Master Lock challenge. For those who don't know what the Master Lock challenge was, because Chris Masters, I don't think, has done the Master Lock challenge since, for a while, at least a few years. I haven't seen the Master Lock challenge in a bit. Basically, they explain it on Smackdown. Guy comes down, sits in a steel chair. Chris Masters puts on the Master Lock, which is a full Nelson, and then they gotta try and get out of it. And if they get out of it, they win the Master Lock challenge. If they can't, they, of course, lose. And so Cody Rhodes lost the Master Lock challenge. And I'm just gonna go back to the beginning of the show. I don't have my notes, so I'm just kind of working off memory here. I just wanted to go back to the beginning of the show, opening segment. Kane comes out and he goes on his rant about how he has feelings, and that whole stuff we've heard before, and how Edge is the monster and everything, and Edge is backstage with Paul Bearer, and he says, in TLC matches he hasn't had one for a while, and sometimes you get rusty, and he has this chair, and he says maybe he should do some batting practice, and he asks Paul Bearer if he's fine with that, and he's like, because he's all taped up, and he's like, I think he said no. Well, he should be okay with it. So he gets behind Paul Bearer with this steel chair, and he's like, stops. No, not good enough. Does it again? No, just stand out the swing. Should be more like this. Then he hits like the back of the wheelchair, and Bearer falls out, and then Kane rushes to the back, and Edge is standing over Paul Bearer with a chair, and he tells Kane not to take another step, which he does, because he's going like, don't do it. Kane, I told you not to take another step, smashes the chair down. Turns out just to be a dummy, and Kane ends up going after Edge, and who has the real Paul Bearer still in the wheelchair. So they're still continuing this kidnapping thing. I think they mentioned on Smackdown it's been over a month now, and it's running its course. And they got one more Smackdown of this, and yeah, it's pretty much done. I think this should end at TLC, and it should be done. This feud between Edge and Kane, it should move on. You know, it can't continue anymore. They've dragged it out for as long as they can, and I think it's kind of ran. It's gone through the motions. It's ran its course, and I think it's done. It's been entertaining, but I think it's getting to the end of the ride. You know, now it's time to do something else. You know. What else would there be? Oh, Natalia versus Layla with Michelle McCool at ringside, and Natalia would bring down Beth Phoenix as her like insurance policy. I was actually glued to the screen for most of the other matches except for this one. I saw a better match between Melina and Natalia on Raw. And Natalia would win with the sharpshooter after Beth Phoenix made sure Michelle McCool could not interfere. And then the main event was far from it. It was not the tag match we were promised at the beginning of the show. Kane didn't show up, so it started off as Edge and Mysterio against Del Rio. Del Rio, so it was a handicap match of Edge and Mysterio against Del Rio. Little ways in, Kane would come out, Edge and Kane would brawl a bit, then Edge would run to the back, Kane would follow, it would be Mysterio and Del Rio, which I skipped through most of the match because I'm going to watch this at the pay-per-view. I don't want to see it on Smackdown. This is your pay-per-view match. Their match is going to be a chairs match. Like, how much is that chair going to be used? 3-4 times? And then for the most part, it's going to be a regular singles match. So I don't want to watch this again at the pay-per-view, so I kind of skipped through it, so I didn't see the whole thing. So I don't kind of ruin the pay-per-view. In my opinion, that's stupid. Have the tag team match, that's fine, but to have them one-on-one, that's going to be the pay-per-view match. Don't have them one-on-one before the pay-per-view. That's like having dessert before supper. It ruins things, you know? So anyways, Mysterio won. Mysterio won, and of course, I'm thinking Del Rio is going to win. They're going to have, I think, Mysterio pretty much get the last laugh kind of thing. Or maybe, who knows? It would be logical to have Del Rio get it and continue building him up, but who knows, they may want to keep Mysterio pretty high up there, maybe give him another run with the world title. It's all opinion. You know, never happened. It's never done until it's happened, you know. Anyways, Edge would be backstage. There would be a ladder with like a platform on it, and then Paul Bearer in the wheelchair. He'd tell Paul Bearer, I hope you're not afraid of heights, and then he'd kind of go down the hallway a bit, and Kane would come towards the ladder and be like, another dummy, eh? And he'd shove this ladder over this like rail to another level of the arena, and he'd look down and he'd have this shock look on his face, and the camera would zoom in to see the real Paul Bearer out on the floor and someone screaming for help. So I don't know, is Paul Bearer dead? Is Paul dead? Are they writing him off TV? It's gonna be interesting. If they play this angle that Paul is dead, then it might actually work in making this match even bigger. It intensifies the feud. Anyways, that's the look at SmackDown. Monday Night Raw, 3 hours, the Slammy Awards. Should be good. And yeah, that's it for now. And we'll talk to you later.